Can you get rhabdo from an indoor cycling class, a spinning class? Well, the answer actually is yes. This has actually happened apparently so many times that even the official spinning website mentions rhabdomyolysis. So what I want to do in this video is show you some of the reports of people getting rhabdo from spinning classes and what might be one of the causes of this occurring, and also share with you some ideas on how to prevent getting rhabdo if you are taking an indoor cycling class. What you're looking at here may be the very first case of spinning class-induced rhabdomyolysis. It occurred in a healthy and apparently fit 34-year-old woman who attended the gym 2 to 3 times a week, but this was her very first spinning class. By the time she was evaluated by doctors, her creatine kinase level had reached over 400,000 and did not return to normal for 4 weeks, and she required physical therapy to regain the use of her legs. Here's a report of a 63-year-old woman who developed rhabdo after riding a stationary bike in her home. Now, they referred to this woman as a recreational athlete, but they didn't give any more details on what that actually meant. Regardless, she spent 2 days in the hospital with bilateral leg pain, which started almost immediately after exercise, and her creatine kinase level was increased to 38,000. And for comparison, creatine kinase, which is a measure of muscle damage, is usually kind of low, ranging anywhere from about 30 to about 170 for healthy people. Here's a report of massive rhabdomyolysis brought on by an indoor cycling class in a 21-year-old woman in Israel who experienced muscle weakness that started almost immediately after taking her very first spinning class, which lasted only 45 minutes. Here's a chart they provide that shows the changes in her creatine kinase and liver enzymes during her 5 days that she spent in the hospital. This is a report of 3 cases of spinning classes triggering rhabdomyolysis, including one in a young girl who reportedly developed rhabdo after only 15 minutes on the bike. Another woman mentioned in this series actually required dialysis to help her recover. In this report, which was picked up by the national news, a woman almost had to have her leg amputated after taking a spinning class. And to give you a better idea of the lay of the land here, here's a table that summarizes some of the reports of indoor cycling classes triggering rhabdo. Definitely pause the video and take a closer look. And as an aside, I would also point out that these are not the only reports out there that link spinning classes to the development of rhabdo. This review highlights an important point to keep in mind, that most people who get rhabdo after taking a spinning class appear to do so after taking their very first class. And that's an important point to keep in mind, not just for spinning, but for all exercise programs as well. I've spoken to a lot of people who've gotten this condition over the years and read a lot of the research and went on to write the very first book about rhabdomyolysis. And I can tell you, you can make a blanket statement and say that even in really healthy, apparently fit people, rhabdomyolysis tends to occur when we do a lot of stuff that we're not used to doing. If the activity is new to the individual and it is repetitive over and over and over, like for instance, pedaling, and you do enough of it, then rhabdo could become more likely to occur. Okay, so let me give you some suggestions. Whether you're a spinning instructor, you could share this with your class, or maybe you're thinking of taking your very first spinning class. Number 1, instead of just jumping into a class, ride a stationary bike on your own. Start with maybe 5 to 10 minutes a couple times a week. Ride the bike at your own pace at a low to moderate intensity. If you're in a gym, you could ride a stationary bike. They're usually in the gym area. Or if you have the opportunity, ride the actual spinning bike on your own. Again, low intensity for a short period of time. Doing this will help your body adapt to the actual movement pattern of what you're going to run into when you take a spinning class. If your gym offers a beginner spinning class, do that class first and roll with that class for a few weeks. Number 2, before the class, introduce yourself to the instructor and tell them that this is your very first class. That's going to help them get you properly set up on the bike, and they'll be more likely to pay more attention to you during the class. Number 3, when you're taking the class, it's okay to get up and leave when you think you've had enough. Don't try to keep up with the intensity in the class or with the instructor. Again, work at your own pace. If you're tired, you're tired. Don't worry about it. You will adapt. Just give it time. Bring water to the class, especially if it's one of those hot cycling classes. And if you run out of water, get off the bike and go fill your water bottle up. Now, I want to take this opportunity to bust a myth. drinking water does not stop rhabdo from occurring. Rhabdo is muscle fiber destruction. You can't stop that from drinking water. And I've met a lot of people over the years who've sworn to me that they were well hydrated and they still got rhabdo. Nevertheless, staying hydrated during exercise can help to mitigate some of the effects of rhabdo, like for example, the effects that may occur on the kidneys. And I also want to take this opportunity that it's not the spinning class per se that's causing the rhabdo. Rather, it's that people are taking intense exercise classes before they're really able to do them. And you can say the same thing for any exercise program. And if you want to know more about this condition, I'll leave a link to my book, Rhabdo, The Scary Side Effect of Exercise You Need to Know About, in the comments below. I'll pin it so it's at the top of the comments.